I will get a shelter ticket, as I don't think I'm cycling these at this point. Probably just playing them and trying to kill our opponent the natural way, you know? The totally natural way of just playing a ton of mountains and killing our opponent, you know? Just the classic. Alright, guys. We are here for the exciting finale here. Are we going to go 1-4 or 0-5? Whew. When I lose, I learn, and you guys learn as well. Hopefully you can learn from my mistakes. I'm sure I made mistakes in this league. Like I said in the previous videos, if you haven't seen them, you should. And in every of our videos descriptions here, you can find the deck list link, MTG Goldfish, because it's the safest thing that I know of to link you guys deck lists. And for no other reason, I'm not sponsored. Maybe they will sponsor me. That would be great. But anyways, yeah, I don't have much else to say. Let's just jump straight into the match. Alrighty, let's hop in here for the match. We are on the play, which is great, playing against Eddie the Intern. And we have a interesting hand. Turn 3 Dryad into turn 4. Hopefully we have a land by then. If we don't top deck a 2-mana spell, this is not going anywhere, so I think this is a pretty safe mulligan. And now we have turn 1 Search into turn 2 Tri-Belder, so that's great. We're definitely keeping this. I think we ship the Relic. We don't know how useful it'll be, and Tri-Belder is pretty good, so I think I'd rather keep those. And here, we're not fetching out a basic because we are trying to get as many mountains in play as possible. I think that's usually the best plan. Fetching a basic should only be done if you're expecting specifically Blood Moon, in my personal opinion. The very creepy avatar our opponent has over here. What even is that? Chronotog. Interesting. Our opponent leads on Tron land and a map. I have no clue how I feel about this matchup, but I know exactly how I feel about slamming Sakura Tri-Belder on turn 2. And I am going to fetch Shaka Stomping Ground here so that we don't have to get a basic forest, hopefully, with either of these Tri-Belders in case we top deck scapeshift or something. And again, this is another one of those scenarios where it's like, some might immediately snap off sacking this Tri-Belder on the end of this turn to get a land. But I personally feel like there's no reason to do that. This Tri-Belder can get our opponent down to 18 and make a scapeshift potentially lethal. Like, I mean, I guess if we top decked a Search for Tomorrow that we wanted to hardcast and then still play Tri-Belder, like, that's a thing that could happen, but admittedly, I think the 1 point of damage are worth it to keep these Tri-Belders in play as long as possible. I guess we do have Bolt to kind of, you know, get there, and we top deck Garenbrig, so if we had a Titan, then setting up a Garenbrig would have been potentially good, but in general, I think that it is good practice not to just immediately sacrifice Tri-Belder. I could be wrong, though. And again, I'm also the guy who's 0-4 right now with this deck, so maybe I'm not the best person to be taking advice from. I don't know. You let me know. I'll jam a Tri-Belder here. Playing around Condescend, we do still have the 1 mana up. And I guess if we played Valakut, it exposes it to Field of Ruin. I don't know how much I care about that. I guess I care a little bit. I'm going to try to save the Valakut until the last possible second. We can activate Garenbrig by sacking 1 Tribe Scout here, and I think we probably should do that on instep just to try to set up for a Titan this upcoming turn. If we top deck a Scapeshift, we'll be able to play Valakut and immediately Scapeshift if we wanted to, or we could sack a Tri-Belder and then Scapeshift to get double Valakut and a bunch of mountains. Our opponent has a second Tron land. I think it's Blue Tron. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Yeah, we are supposed to sacrifice one of the Tri-Belders. I'll sack the tapped one, I think. And again, I'm sacking it now because we have an actual, like, reason to do so. We can still get our opponent down to 18 and make our Scapeshift slightly better by keeping this one in play. Getting some instant speed Valakut triggers, quite possibly. Yeah, we'll go to combat and attack, I guess. Maybe it's right to play out the Valakut here first. It probably doesn't matter. Down to 18. That's a Valakut relevant number. Our opponent has already used their map, so I'm just going to go ahead and jam the Valakut and pass. Next turn we can play Foothills, and then we could sack the Foothills, get a mountain, and then crack the Tri-Belder for a mountain and get 3 points of damage out of our patience of not sacking this Tri-Belder until the last possible second. Especially in control matchups like this, where you don't really have a reason to try to be blocking with Tri-Belder, just letting it be in play and attack for 1 every turn is actually somewhat relevant, so shrinks the number of mountains that you need to be able to get to deal your opponent enough damage by a lot. Our opponent plays a second island before playing the map. Okay. Sure, I guess. And again, there's really no reason to sack the Tri-Belder, so why do it? Mountain. Sure, we'll play it. We'll attack for 1. This Tri-Builder's going the distance. Getting it done. Take that. Just die to our land drops, opponent. Who needs to cast anything? Here comes another Tron land, I'm assuming. Yep. Power plant in hand. Well, I mean, if we draw literally nothing but 2 Tri-Builders and a Search for Tomorrow, I mean, at least we have enough mountains to do Valakut damage here. And we even have drawn a natural Valakut here, so at least we're not doing literally nothing, but... I mean, all I'm going to say is any payoff spell off the top would be great. Dude, and now we get super rewarded for keeping our Tri-Builder because we can easily kill this Endbringer on their instep here. So yeah, let's start by casting the Bolt so that... Let's see, we do still have basic mountains left. We'll start by casting the Bolt, because if this doesn't resolve, then we'd be wasting our Tri-Builder by sacrificing it. But here, we'll just go ahead and do it. Mountain. Goodbye, Endbringer. I'd like to see you do that while sacrificing Tri-Builder early. Exactly. Right, we'll draw. Primeval Titan. Yeah. Seems good. Seems strong. Bang. I have to click all the mana, so it's not really as good of a bang as I wanted it to be. Bang! Primeval Titan. Remand? Oh, they have 3 mana over here. Remand. Okay. We'll play land and pass. Remand if you like. See if I care. Next turn, we might just be jamming into Condescend. I feel like we're probably not supposed to just jam. So, yeah. And again, there's no reason to fetch this Foothills. Why would you do it? Don't get suckered into it. This could be as many as 2 or 3 Valakut triggers down the line, depending on how long this game lasts and what we draw. So, no sacking the Foothills. Don't do it. Stomping Ground. We'll play that, though. We'll play the lands that we are dealt. So if we activate Garenbrig, cast Titan, that'll take 4 lands. We'll have 4 mana up. They can Condescend for way more than 4, so no thanks. I mean, they drew from Remand and cast a Thirst for Knowledge. They probably have a Condescend. If we wait long enough, we might even be able to just slam 2 Titans in 1 turn. Thirst. Okay. Discarding map. Okay. I mean, eventually we'll have to just cast the Titan, but before that point, you know, all of the Storm Giant. Storm Giants, a new D&D card. Enters tapped. It animates for 6 mana into a 7/7 with Ward 3. Okay. Search for Tomorrow. I mean, we'll cast that and try to bolt our opponent, I guess. We could cast the Titan just to see if we can get a couple Valakuts before we cast this Search. And just, like, accept that we're losing to the other thing. I don't think there's a point in doing that, though. I'm just going to cast the Search now. Maybe sandbagging the Search to cast after we resolve a Titan is better, but we also only have Cinderglades, 1 Stomping Ground, a Sheltered Thicket left. So we want to be careful about how many mountains we have in deck, but that sounds like enough to me. Alright, and again, I'm not just jamming this Titan. The longer we wait, the better. The more likely we're able to cast a Titan, get it countered, cast a scapeshift, win the game. Something along those lines. I guess we still have the Ketria Triome as well. We have 8 in play, which means we have 6 left in deck. We do play 14 mountains. Let me double check that. Of course, that is the reason why I sorted the mana base this way. We have mountains on one side and not mountains on the other side. Opponent plays Treasure Mage, okay. Get a Wormcoil Engine and play it, please. Please get... No, I know what they're going to do. No. They're going to get a Mindslaver and cast our Titan for us. Either into their open counter magic. They could even Condescend for 0. Or they could just let it resolve and have Valakut triggers kill the Titan itself. They can fetch here and get nothing if we let them, so we should fetch now. We have been given a good reason to do so. Do we get the land? I think we do. We're only a couple mountain top decks away from just killing them. Yeah, I think we're supposed to go ahead and get this. Hey, get this. And I don't care about their 2/2 Treasure Mage. Have fun. Alright. See if they force us to cast our Titan into things. They could play it, and then choose not to search, and then play a Planeswalker and kill our Titan. Oh, they didn't even play the Mindslaver. What am I doing? Well, I mean, we gotta cast our Titan before they Mindslaver us into doing something we don't want to do, I guess. So I guess it's now or never. We'll activate. It would be nice if we had drawn a scapeshift here. We didn't. It would not be nice if we draw a scapeshift the turn they Mindslaver us. That would be very not nice. Sack all of our lands. Fail to find. I feel like, yeah, I mean, even if they're searching our deck, it's still like hidden information. I don't know why it would be possible for both us and our opponent counter unless we pay 3. I will pay 3. Yes. Okay. I was fully expecting not Supreme Will here. Another Supreme Will, we can pay for that too. Condescend? I mean, if that's the case, at least we 2-for-1 our opponent, I guess. Okay, yeah, we will not pay. No. Don't have 5 mana. Are we supposed to just Farseek here? I feel like if we don't, our opponent's going to Mindslaver lock us out of getting the Farseek, so... I mean, I don't think we have a choice at this point. I will get a Shelter Ticket, as I don't think I'm cycling these at this point. Probably just playing them and trying to kill our opponent the natural way, you know? The totally natural way of just playing a ton of mountains and killing our opponent, you know? Just the classic. I guess we're dead in 2 turns to this Hall of the Storm Giants, so if they activated it and attacked with this very turn, we would have to top deck Titan or Scapeshift to kill them. And that would be it. They play Mindslaver. Well, I mean, we've done everything we can to play around this. So if they Mindslaver us now, I guess they have the map so they can get Academy Ruins, but they can't activate it. So we still have a turn here. They pay 4, activate it. They have 1, let's see, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus the Academy Ruins. So down to 10, and tapping the Academy Ruins to get back the Mindslaver, 6 to cast, 4 to activate. Yeah, we're dead. They Mindslaver lock us every turn and deal 2 damage every turn, and we draw a card while they don't because the Mindslaver goes on top of their deck. So we're dead every single way that we could be dead. And we don't want to let them see what we draw because that's our little secret that they don't get to know. We'll go to sideboard here. Well, Kozilek, I dare say, will be quite the good one to have access to here. Engineered Explosives, I'm not really feeling. Relic of Progenitus is not the worst, as it's good against Academy Ruins. That's about it. They could be playing Karn the Great Creator, in which case we might want Broken Wings, but I mean, I don't really feel it. Veil of Summer, yes, for sure. Relic is like alright. I don't think we care too much about Academy Ruins. Maybe we should, but I don't know. Do we want Force here? Is our opponent going to have Karn board things? Do we want Blast Zone? Probably not. It's not a mountain, which makes it not that great. We want Tracker, of course. We could have Run Afoul for like an Emrakul or something. I really feel like that's not going to be the move. I think it's probably right to have Broken Wings, but maybe not Force. Just in case. Farseek doesn't seem that strong here, as our opponent's just playing a long game and just top-decking cards that are essentially the same as top-decking lands when we might need to be top-decking threats. Probably not the best place to be. Bolt seems pretty weak here. We're going to have long enough to nickel and dime them down to 18, so we don't really need Bolt for that. I think we can just trim Bolt entirely. Dryad seems good here, forcing them to have an answer at the very least. Let's just play multiple things every once in a while to try to get around Condescend. Things like that. Do we want to trim a Farseek for a second relic? I feel like we probably do. We don't want to be burning through our mountains too fast. Anything else? We could trim a Dryad for another relic. I don't know, though. I'm not that in love with it. We could trim a forest. I don't mind trimming one forest. The other one is good to play around our opponent's field of ruining one of our green lands and cutting us off of green. If we didn't have any forest, we'd be forced to get a mountain, and that might stop us from being able to cast a Titan or a scapeshift or something. But yeah, forest is not the best. We actually should be probably trimming Garenbrig in this matchup as well, now I'm thinking about it. It's a little too late now, but we'll be on the play. We have scapeshifts and Primeval Titans, and nothing else. Is that okay? Like, we're playing a really slow and long matchup. This Castle Garenbrig is like a turn 5 Titan. I feel like we should mulligan for something slightly faster. Like, yeah, this works, I guess. We'll keep. Probably wanting to get rid of a Search for Tomorrow, I would think. Maybe even a land, but probably just Search for Tomorrow. If we can draw more threats and like things to do, then we'll probably be happier than having a bunch of ramp spells in hand. So we are going to suspend this, I think. Helps us play around Condescend a little better. If they wanted to counter our land search, that is. Maybe getting rid of the other search wasn't great. I don't really know. Something that we'll learn today in this matchup, I guess. Play the Valcut and pass. And we can just slam. We can just slam Tireless Tracker here if our opponent doesn't have blue up, which I want to do. And we even get the clue value out of it because we get to search for a land here with our search. No pun intended. Is that even a pun? I feel like that's like completely intended to not be a pun. It's just how the card works. But anyways, we get to get a land into play and then play our tracker here. I think we do want a mountain. I'm a little afraid of putting them all into play all at once, but all right. Gotta tap for the right color. We'll play tracker. We'll play mountain and get a clue. Get a clue! We'll pass. See if our opponent has answers to Tireless Tracker. Warping Whale. I was kind of expecting a Spatial Contortion there, and I was about to be a little angry. I'm like, why would you have Spatial Contortion against us? All it does is stop us from pecking for one with a stupid Sakura Tri-Belter. And that's not the Tron land they wanted either. Thought not. Oh no, they took our Broken Wings. It's almost like we played our most important card in our hand last turn. Yes! Alright, we'll draw. Something good? Valcut. I mean, that ain't bad, actually. Alright, let's draw with the clue just to see what's what. We can even... I don't think we're attacking into this Thought Knot, if I'm being completely honest. Nah. We'll play Valcut. Get our tap lane out of the way. And we'll crack Clue on Instep in case they have something that we care about. We're not attacking into their Thought Knot, as soon enough we'll be able to just go right over the top of that Thought Knot. Hopefully they never, ever draw a Dismember, ever. Thank you. I don't know if they would have that in their deck at this point, which is part of the reason why Tracker is so good in this matchup, I would say. All colorless lands in the mono blue deck. Just the classic. A second Thought Knot. I actually think we just straight up don't even care about that. Which is kind of hilarious. I guess if we had played a mountain, we could top deck a land search spell and be able to kill a Thought Knot this upcoming turn, but... No. No, not even, actually. They're swinging. I mean, we're not blocking, so... We might be leaving our tracker up to block these Thought Knots, though, to be honest. I'm not sure if we outrace them. We'll have to do the math real quick. But first things first, we'll clue and draw Primeval Titan and cast it in the game, so... Oh, boy. I mean, hey, you have to have faith for it to happen, you know? It's just you gotta summon it. You gotta make it into willing. Alright, we'll play the Cinderglade as it's entering untapped, and it is in fact a mountain. Oh yeah, that's right, we're getting tracker clues as well. Cool. Don't want to do that. There we go, that's the one. Titan? Mountain. Boom. Boom. Opponent concedes the game. Well, that was easy. Okay, I didn't expect Thought Knots here, and frankly, I don't care. Tracker was insane. Very nice, very nice. Are we trimming Garen Briggs? I think we actually are. I think we want... Oh, I thought this... Oh, it is playing 3 Relic. We just boarded off all 3 in already. All right. I think we want to trim the Garen Briggs. I think Farseek is probably better than Castle. Marginally. Do we want Force? I feel like we don't. Our opponent could have Chalice of the Void to put on 0. I mean, that would be against specifically Summoner's Pact, which we don't play that many of anyways. They could play it on 2. That wouldn't even be that annoying, to be honest. I think Chalice of the Void is the non-factor. Force is mainly... It would mainly be here for Karn targets, but... I mean... I also don't think Farseek is that great, so I'll have 1 Force, 1 Farseek to just hedge. I mean, they kept a hand with mono colorless lands, so that indicates to me that they have Karn and could have potentially drawn it and like cast it. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't keep a hand with no blue, right? Speaking of keeping, we're absolutely keeping this. We have Veil of Summer to stamp through our opponent's pieces of interaction. We have Turn 1 Search for Tomorrow, which I love, especially against Condescend. Yeah. We're fetch shocking here. Wait, do we even have forests in deck? I feel like we don't. Yeah, we have no choice but to fetch shock if we want to suspend Search for Tomorrow, and honestly, I don't regret it, even for a second. Go. Wait, I think we might have 1 forest to play around, not concede, to play around... Yeah, we sided out 1 force. So we still have 1 force to play around field. That's what it was. Now they're on the Mono Islands draw. No Tron lands. Extremely consistent. Extremely consistent. So I'm going to play Relic here instead of Explorer to play around Condescend for 1. Yeah, I mean, that's basically, that's the whole sentence. If they want to Condescend this thing, or remand it, that's fine. No reason to get got by those spells. If they remand our Search for Tomorrow, we might just be hard casting it, to be completely honest. We've drawn one of the 2 Garen Briggs we have left in deck. That's great. Totally unrelated question. Are you guys familiar with Sarcasm? Alright, we'll untap. Let our Relic do literally nothing. That's cool. That's cool. Alright, let's see the remand opponent. We have not given you a chance to cast a single interactive blue spell, and they still regret to take... not regret. They still neglect to take the bait, so... I mean, we'll keep doing the thing. Now we can play Explorer and play around Condescend for 2, so... Got him. Are we Exploring or just casting Tribelder here? Tribelder does some damage, and Explorer doesn't, so I'm going to play Tribelder. I guess next turn, there would have been an argument if we explore that we could play an untapped land and have Titan plus Veil, but we also don't actually have a Titan in hand, and it's not that super likely that we draw something to win with, so I think it's better to get the points of damage out of Tribelder first. Thirst for Knowledge, okay. Discard the remands and the Condescends. Let's go ahead and see it. Nah, they're going to discard, like, Map or something here. We'll see, we'll see. We'll let them figure it out. Platinum Angel. Yep. I mean, they were pretty close to casting it, you know? Hey, now our Relic can start doing anything. I mean, admittedly, this Relic is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Thought Knot's kind of annoying, but okay. Well, now our Steve is not getting any damage through, so we might as well just... I mean, are we supposed to just, like, sacrifice it? Of course, we're Relicking here before our opponent knows our hand, so they have less information about what to keep in their yard. Okay. Yeah, we have no choice but to let this resolve, I think. Heavily punished for not playing the Explorer here, actually. I wasn't thinking about the fact they play Thought Knot, but... More, you know, I guess. They... Oh, of course they're going to take the Veil. What am I thinking? That makes way more sense. Well, that also means that this upcoming turn is our absolute best window to slam a Titan or scapeshift. So, what I'm going to do here is, since we're not attacking with the Tribelder, we'll go ahead and sacrifice it to get 1 land out of our 48-card deck to make us a little more likely to draw the card we need. We'll crack Relic, and in this draw and our next draw, we will draw a Titan and win. Or scapeshift and win. That works too. See, we'll have 5, 6, 7 if we explore and it resolves. Well, we might have it. Let's see. Dryad. Okay. So we explore, play Cinderglade on tapped and land, and then set. Our opponent is not at 18. Interesting. We'll explore, I guess, anyways. Sure. If we draw a Valakut, nah. I think we're supposed to scapeshift and put our opponent to 2 anyways. Because the scapeshift is otherwise just never resolving. Like, otherwise it just literally won't happen. So, we'll play Cinderglade. Untapped. Let's see, that's 6 lands, 7. And this is not to play, this is to cycle. We'll fetch for a basic forest, I guess, since we want to leave mountains in deck if at all possible. I guess we don't have to get literally, like, 6 mountains. We could leave some mountains in play. We'll get the basic forest, as it's about to get sacrificed for sure. And I think we are supposed to just go ahead and scapeshift here. At least it lets us get some Valakuts in play before our opponent can play some janky hate piece or something. Alright, so we're going to sacrifice the Garen Brig and the forest, absolutely for sure. If we get 4 mountains, that'll be 12 damage, put our opponent to 8. Nah, I feel like we need to get at least 5 mountains here in addition to one. In addition to one of the Valakuts. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so far. So that would be 4 mountains Valakut. I think we need to sacrifice 1 more, so I'm going to click this mountain that I can barely see. So that's 6. We get 5 mountains Valakut. That's 15 damage. Our opponent goes to 5. Then we can play Dryad, land. I guess we really just need our Dryad plus land to be lethal, huh? I guess we're sacrificing all of them and just YOLOing it. Alright, we want to leave basic mountain in deck against our opponent having Field of Ruin or something like that. We'll go ahead and get all of the red-green sources, I suppose, so that we have no problem casting our spells. We did choose 1 Valakut already, if I'm not mistaken. It's so hard to see. I'm gonna see it a little better. So we have 1 Valakut, we have 3, 4, 5 mountains. So go 6 with the Sheltered Thicket. Cool. We're not cycling these lands, so might as well get it out of the way. I guess we could point 2 at the Thought Knot. It would take 12 down to 8. Nah, I'm off of it. Just kill him. Get him dead. Hopefully this Dryad will resolve. Actually, I guess we get an automatic Valakut trigger this upcoming turn anyways, huh? But why is it auto yes to all of them? That's weird. Oh, that's right. It's the only 1 Valakut. I'm so used to this many Valakut triggers being multiple copies of Valakut in, like, Amulet, for example. Alright, and again, this cycle not to play, so we just gotta pass. I guess our opponent is literally dead to our Ketria Triome and nothing else, so I think definitely scapeshifting here was a good choice. And of course, it takes me so long to figure these things out because I don't have an extended history with this deck, so hopefully you can trudge through it with me. Land, you're dead? You got it? Got it? And our opponent concedes. I wonder if they knew that we had the Ketria Triome in hand. Anyways. Well, totally just ruined our opponent's league for literally no value ourselves, ending up 1-4. Hey, at least it's not 0-5. And as promised, I do have something to say about the deck. So first of all, I understand that Tracker is a very cool, value-oriented card, but I think the main deck really needs to be streamlined in this meta, where if you're messing around with things like Relic and Engineered Explosives and Trackers in the main deck, and you have them against the decks where they don't matter, it can really hurt you. Because Modern is just a format that's like that. And the other thing that I want to say is, only having Bolts and Search for Tomorrows for turn 1 is not enough. Like, we really need to be playing a turn 1 proactive spell. And, of course, the card that I'm thinking about here is Arboreal Grazer, of course. This is the 1-mana 0/3 with Reach. When it enters play, put a land from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. This is not going to be anything that somebody who has played Amulet before will be unfamiliar with. But Of course, Grazer is very strong in a deck that wants to power out a bunch of lands, a ramp strategy. It's very, very good, in particular right now, against the DRC and Ragavan decks. It chump blocks Murktide Regent. It just completely stonewalls Ragavan. It forces them to use a bolt on a Grazer, which is not a great exchange. And if they do use removal on Grazer, it clears the way for Dryad a little bit more, for example. So I think that Grazer's a good move. However, I will say, you cannot just play 4 Grazers without making any changes to the deck. And by that I mean, Grazer is essentially the same thing as discarding a card to put a land into play. Because sometimes the 0-3 dude does not matter at all, especially against control decks. And draining your hand of lands does not play well with more copies of this type of effect. So of course, what I mean is, a card like Explore, while it's great in general, I really love this card. I play as many as 4 in Amulet, even right now. I think that when you're playing 4 Grazers in a deck without bounce lands, you really can't afford to play Explorer in addition. So I think in making this change, I would just switch to a 4th Farseek and maybe call it there. There's probably another 2-mana ramp spell, like Literal Rampant Growth or something. I don't know. I'm not a big, like, TitanShift player myself, so I'm not for sure what the other options would be, but even having a 5th copy would be fine. But, like, 4 Farseeks, 4 Tri-Elders seems like a good move. And I do understand that Explore helps you dig towards action, but I don't think that we can afford not to be playing more 1-mana spells. I think that being lower to the ground is going to be the best possible thing. Additionally, I feel like because we're trimming Explore, we could potentially go up 1 copy of Summoner's Pact just to hopefully have more access to Titans. It's also good at finding a 1 of Dryad for random situations where it would be good. Things along those lines, so I think making room for another Summoner's Pact would be good. I don't really know what we would cut at this point, though. It could be reasonable to just cut 1 of the Dryads, go down to 2, and play a Pact instead, so that we're more likely to have Literal Titan, and we can still find a Dryad if we want it or need it. I'm not really sure, though. I do think that scapeshift is still strong in this strategy, just because it's a instant I win button, so we could maybe trim a Foothills. Excuse me. We could maybe trim a Foothills to make room for the other Pact, but I don't know. Having as many lands as we can possibly play, while also having a way to get a turn 1 forest to suspend a search or whatever, or to be able to play out a Tri-Belder to set up the second forest against Blood Moon decks, seems quite relevant to me. It's possible we should be going down to 3 bolts, but I don't really love that either, because it really conflicts with turn 1 search and turn 1 Grazer, so maybe dropping the other bolt to the sideboard is a good move instead of cutting a Dryad, but I don't really know. I think that bolt is fine here, so I don't know. It's tough. It could even just be only play the 3 Farseeks, just straight up make the swap of Explorers for Grazer. That's fine, too. I don't hate that. It makes for less awful top decks in the late game as well, so maybe just 3 Farseeks, 4 Grazers, that's fine. That's the changes I would make to the main deck, I think. Can't think of anything else, really. And in the sideboard, I would say, I think that this deck is, I mean, admittedly, now that we have Grazers, that makes the addition of Anger of the Gods, the card that I was just thinking about, a lot worse, because Grazer already helps us against those aggressive strategies, where it can just chump block all day long and buy us the time that we need. And in that case, maybe we don't really need Angers, and we do have Explosives instead, so I think Explosives is very good, especially against all the Alpine Moons running around, so absolutely want the 3rd Explosives. Broken Wings seems alright. I wouldn't play too many of it. Maybe just 1 is fine. I think the Tracker makes sense as well against, like, discard decks. Blast Zone I'm not super impressed with, although we didn't really play a matchup where it would be great, but I think we could safely trim Blast Zone when we have Grazers and Explosives for aggressive matchups. And then Runnerfowl seems fine, if not a little narrow. The Kozilek, I mean, it's actually really good for us against blue decks, but I still don't think Kozilek is very strong. I don't think a late-game Kozilek is actually going to win the game against a blue deck, because it's basically just a card that eats a counterspell or a path and draws us 4 cards, but if all 4 of those cards are just ramp spells and, like, random, like, things, then probably not super relevant, so I think those are the changes that I would consider making. Yeah, I think this is where I would try to start with the deck next time I play it. Let me know if you want to see me play another league with red-green TitanShift, because despite what many people have said about the deck, I've heard from numerous sources that it's an extremely unfun, uninteresting strategy to play. I completely disagree. I actually feel like there's a lot of relevant intricacies as to how you sequence your lands, when you sacrifice Tribe Elders, when you cast Summoner's Pact, how you plan to win the game. Sideboarding can be very difficult. I feel like this deck has a lot of interesting things to talk about, and obviously it's still not solved. There's not a lot of people playing Red-Green TitanShift right now, so that's part of the reason why I wanted to play it. So anyways, thank you to Dan for the deck list, and all of you who suggested to play this. And if you want to see me play through another league with Red-Green TitanShift, then drop it in the comments below and leave a like on this video. I played to a 1-4 finish for you guys, for your entertainment, for your knowledge, and I don't know, maybe we can even work on this deck and improve it together. Let me know your suggestions as well in the comments below, and yeah, that's it for now. I will see you guys in the next league. This is Redface Menace, signing off.